I'll fix my feathers.
Hang loose! Hey everybody, happy Fursuit Friday!
Squeak!
Hi!
That was me. I squeaked.
You chirped. You're a bird.
I could squeak too. I'm a mimic.
Really?
Really?
Save all the bird stuff for when we do that other movie. What about the birding?
Gotcha.
I'd be winking if I could.
I
So anyway,
thought
hi
you-
everybody! Happy Fursuit Friday! We got a couple of movies we're going to talk about here. We got a few other movies we'll talk about in future videos, but tonight we just watched The Heartbreak Kid with Ben Stiller. And the other night we watched The Watch, also starring Ben Stiller. I had never seen The Watch, but you had.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters.
You had never seen Heartbreak Kid, but I saw it on TV, and boy, was I glad I saw it on streaming, because there was a lot of stuff that I'm sure they cut out of the TV broadcast.
Describe in lurid detail for your audience.
When we get to that point, maybe. But anyhow, first of all, The Watch was a very interesting movie. Apparently, it was supposed to be called Neighborhood Watch, but apparently it came out...
We don't have to go into too much detail. Okay, yes.
So yeah, it came out soon after The Dark Knight Rises, and that apparently caused them to retool the movie's title to just The Watch. And there was some unfortunate things that happened in real life, and the marketing was changed at the last minute.
Yeah, because it involved a neighborhood watch. So they were like, whoa. Let's pull back. They actually had done some marketing. The first trailer I saw referred to it as the neighborhood watch.
Mm-hmm.
And their things say neighborhood watch on them, and that would have been
jackets.
the logo for the movie.
Jackets.
Yeah, but they changed. But
yeah,
fine. It didn't really hurt at all, and most people didn't even notice.
Yeah, the movie sadly did not perform very well in theaters. Partially, possibly due to real life events going on. The film starred, like I said earlier, Ben Stiller, as well as Vince Vaughn and
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill, yeah, and Richard. Ayode? I'm never sure how to pronounce his name. He's the he's the nerdy guy from the IT crowd.
Aren't they all nerdy?
He's more nerdy than everybody.
Oh,
I'd say
nerdy.
But it was actually, I think he might have been his first film role. And he was a little worried that people would just think that he won a contest to be in a movie with a bunch of celebrities. But I think it's largely thought that he was like the best part of the movie.
Is his first film role? Do you remember your first film role? Mine was a 110 speed, and I had it on this old Kodak camera that I got.
Mine would have probably been a disposable camera.
Interesting.
Probably would have been Kodak. If that's what you're getting at. But anyhow, basically, movie stars Ben Stiller. He's a employee. He's the manager of a Costco.
Yes. And
kind of funny that in the other movie we'll talk about, he's also the owner or runs another store that he owns. So it's a little bit higher than manager. But just the fact that his major character point is that he is a guy in charge of a department store. I just thought it was kind of funny that both worked out that way. But anyhow, so he's friends with everybody at work, and the night watchman just got his citizenship, and he's all happy for him. And unfortunate things happened to him, and that's why he starts off Neighborhood Watch, because he's trying to find the culprit who hurt his buddy there. And that's when he manages to get a very small group of people in his community to come to his place to join the Neighborhood Watch, of which are the three guys that we mentioned earlier. Unfortunately, they all have their own, ulterior motives as to why they are joining the Watch. But they're all, fairly decent people in their own way. Unlike some other movies where they could be total, like jerks or have, like extremely bad reasons for joining this. I think they all still had at least a little bit of heart in there for joining.
I think
Even
we're
if
gonna say fridge for a second there.
what?
They all had a heart in their fridge.
What? Okay. Did I use the ASL for fridge or something?
You came close. No, not the ASL. I don't actually even
Okay.
know what it is.
But anyhow, so yeah, the movie is fairly interesting. It's got a bunch of like cameos from different people in it.
Name 13.
No. But yeah, it's a fairly decent movie. It definitely got a bad rap because of the whole IRL situation at the time. They might have been smart to just shelve it for a little while and release it after things cooled down. But
it was also up against some competition.
yeah, The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, which
apparently.
was a huge movie.
And it sucked. I hated that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, more people like that than they did the Neighborhood Watch.
What? The Watch.
Oh, yeah, The Watch. The Dark Knight
But-
Rises was a huge tentpole movie.
Yes.
Whereas
It was a very big disappointment.
Yeah, whereas the
like,
Watch...
what are they doing to Bane? Come on.
Yeah, I agree with that. But it was a summer tentpole, whereas
Yeah.
The Watch was just a dime a dozen comedy.
Anyhow,
I liked it, though.
So yeah, definitely recommend you check it out. It's definitely a rated R movie. Lots of adult situations and graphic violence type stuff. But yeah, if you like comedies like that, if you like Ben Stiller, if you like Vince Vaughn or Jonah Hill, this was after he lost his weight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's pretty fit. He's playing once again. He's playing a younger character, similar to his 21 Jump Street character, where he's supposed to be a fairly young character. But yeah, he sells it pretty well, I'd say. But yeah, Starlight from The Boys is actually Vince Vaughn's daughter in this movie.
Yes, I had never... I mean, I saw this thing in theaters, and I wouldn't have remembered. But then when I was watching, I was like, she looks familiar. I was like, oh, that's Starlight. How cool.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to the next season of The Boys.
Oh, goodness, yes.
So anyhow, yeah, definitely worth checking out. The Heartbreak Kid, apparently
Shawn Michaels?
No relation to that one. But yeah, this is a movie starring once again Ben Stiller. It's actually a remake of what did I say?
Oh, gosh.
Josh Brolin movie? George Grodin? So,
I
anyway, it's a
don't
1972 movie. But yeah, it's definitely not. It's definitely the weaker of the two movies. But it's kind of fun to see Ben Stiller with his dad, Jerry Stiller, who plays his dad in the movie. And basically, he ends up attending the wedding of a friend of his, and he is stuck at the kiddie table because it's actually the singles table. He is the only person in his social circle who is not married.
Yeah, you know what? That is patently absurd, because I've been to many weddings, and there is always a lot. There are always a lot of single people.
It's a bit of a stretch for the entertainment value, but yeah. So basically, he's pretty much pressured by everybody in his life to find a girl and get married, and he ends up coming across this young woman in distress, and he attempts to help her out, and he kind of just falls for her, and he jumps the gun a little too quickly and gets married to her, like, way too quick. And the rest of the movie takes place down in Mexico, where they do surfing and stuff, which is what the theme of the shirt is, as well as being blue, as the jackets for the Neighborhood Watch were blue. But yeah, the most of the movie takes place down in Mexico, And it's, again, got a whole bunch of cameos, including Flo from Progressive in one of the few acting roles that I've ever heard of her being in. Almost didn't recognize her. You thankfully pointed her out to me.
They put a lot of makeup on her for the Progressive commercials.
And Carlos Mencia, if you all remember that guy, he has a fairly sizable role as like the go-to guy at the resort that they're staying at. He's if you need a favor done, just give him 300 pesos and he'll do whatever you need, type of thing.
Yeah, he's a nice. He was funny.
Yeah.
I liked his character.
He didn't steal any jokes, as far as I could tell, for this one. But he was certainly pretty wacky. Found out that the woman who plays his wife, Ben Stiller's wife in this movie, was actually in The Watchmen as Silk Spectre. And that's probably the only other thing I think I recognized her from. And if you've seen The Watchmen, you might recognize her in that too. But yeah, she's pretty much the what would you call that? The date from hell type of thing. Except he married it before realizing it. But yeah, like the whole premise is that while he's on his honeymoon, that goes south very quickly, literally and figuratively, seeing as how they went down to Mexico. He ends up meeting this nice girl who he finds he's got a lot more connections with and more in common with. But yeah, of course, constantly making things awkward and,
Awkward.
situations getting complicated by people thinking he's talking about one thing and he's talking about another thing, that sort of deal. Yeah, it's one of those kind of movies. It's okay. It's definitely, like I said, The Watch is the better of the two movies. But yeah, we watched both of them. They were both expiring on streaming. So yeah. You have anything else to add in there?
I would say
mention
that,
a couple of the other cameos.
I definitely enjoyed it. It was just a fun little story, and I like that Ben Stiller's character wasn't this perfect guy. He actually was kind of a terrible person.
Yeah.
And he kind of he earned a lot of the crap that he got. And about The Watch, is like, wow, like I said, I saw that in theaters. I remember, like...
Strange, I don't remember anybody wearing a watch in that movie.
Oh, I'll have to go back and look.
Be funny, right?
But, yeah, I didn't really care for it too much. I saw it with an old friend. Well, someone who's an old friend now.
Oh.
And
were they a new friend at the time?
Yeah. And then, like, rewatching it, like, I was like, wow, this is actually a lot funnier than I remembered.
All right.
So it was definitely entertaining. It's still not, like, an A-tier movie.
Yeah.
But it's a fine watch. I definitely don't regret it.
It's a fine watch. Aha.
I don't regret seeing either one.
Oh, okay.
Although I can't imagine doing, like, a regular rewatch of any of them.
Yeah.
They're fine. They're fine. They're worth a watch. Once you see it, get what you need from it, and move on.
But yeah, Herschel from The Walking Dead was in this, a small cameo as well. And I can never remember his name. The guy from Eastbound and Down, and This Is the End. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Danny McBride?
Danny McBride, yes. Danny McBride is the love interest's brother, I believe.
A cousin.
Cousin, that's right, cousin. It did come up. Why did I say brother? Anyway, they could have easily just been brothers and sister. But anyway, he acts like it anyway. He's very protective of her.
There would be no difference if they wrote him as a brother.
But anyhow, so there was definitely a lot of... I'm trying to think who else. There was definitely another cameo in there somewhere. But anyway, yeah, definitely interesting how many famous people we've been seeing in some of these movies. Be like, oh, hey, it's that guy. But yeah, future reviews coming. We watched Black Dynamite, the movie. We watched The Big Year, which is about birding.
Bird!
Yay, birds. And we watched a 1 hour photo with Robin Williams in a very dramatic role for him.
Yeah, which surprisingly lasted longer than 60 minutes.
Okay.
And I went home with 0 photos.
But we
Go
also
figure.
watched it at home.
Yeah, makes it even worse. It's like, hey, we watched it at home, waited an hour, still no photos. What's up with that? That's the real tragedy of the movie. Not the mental illness that the main character served.
Oh,
or
yeah,
had.
well, let's not get into too much of that. We'll save that for when we actually review it. But we still also have the Turtles movie to review. We still need to watch the Rise of Ninja Turtles series and movie so we can combine those. But yeah, expect those in future videos. We've also got a
Yeah, one of the cats.
the cats that try to get in here. But
You
yeah,
wanna get in
we're
the
gonna do
video.
we're gonna do some tier lists. So when we do those, you let us know if you like them, and we'll try to do more of those. But for now, thanks for watching, and have a happy Fursuit Friday. Bye. And hang loose.